Query, what do you wish to ask of him, Master? Protocol. This will be a very sensitive topic, Master. You will want to be careful with your questions or risk offending him. Not that that is much of a worry. Translation. Translation. He says that he will not, Master. There is one storyteller in each clan, and only he may recite the histories. Translation. Translation. He says that you don't understand. They must never be told to someone who might say them incorrectly out of ignorance. Translation. To speak them in error is a blasphemy punishable by death. Only their greatest warriors are even permitted to listen to the tales. Translation. Translation. He doesn't know, Master. His people usually kill outsiders. Since you are an outsider yourself, that would not suffice. Translation. The greatest challenge for a warrior is to face a great dragon, the largest predator on Tatooine. Fight one of those, and bring back a dragon pearl. Discussed. I think he's making fun of you, Master. He doesn't believe an outsider could do such a thing. Translation. Translation. We are free to leave.
On it. Done.
What can I do?
What?
Hey!
Greetings again from the offices of Zerga Corporation. Is this about bounties or something else? I see that, but do you have the all-important chieftains, Gaffy? That was what you agreed to get for us. Well, that is a very big headache that you've removed. I'm sure there are still sand people out there, but they'll be quieter now. I think I'll give you a bonus for this. You've more than lived up to your side of the bargain. Zerga Corporation thanks you. I think you'll find that the reward I've given is more than adequate for the task. No more is deserved. I'm sure. Zerga Corporation thanks you again.
Ki Mulira Kun King. Chiwi Aita Katong Chicha.
Oh, good hunting.
What can I do?
I'm here. What?
Query. What do you wish to ask? Clarification. We must be more specific, Master. They capture many organics. Translation. Translation. He says that the captive Jawas are slaves and that they have lived past their usefulness. You may take them if you wish. Protocol. We should not keep him long. It is an insult to take too much of his time. Unless the plan is to blast him when you are done, of course. Translation. Translation. He says that what you seek is far from here in the eastern Dune Sea. He will give you a map so you can find your way. Translation. His people found it but didn't scavenge it because a crate dragon took up residence in the excavation. Translation. Translation. Your ignorance isn't his concern. He claims there is a hunter that wanders the area sometimes and that you should ask him. Translation. The hunter is a Twi'lek. He will be in the eastern Dune Sea somewhere. Translation. Translation. We are free to leave.
I'm here.
Acknowledgement.
I'm here.
I'm tired of waiting, Comad. How big can this dragon of yours be? I'm going in.
Runda di hotonga kun hongami. Wana kun bez chika chikun ida hodonga. Iking kun runda di hotonga kun hongami. Wana kun bez ching bal. Ka chikun ida hodonga. Runda di hodonga kun hongami. Wana kun Ka chikun ida hodonga. Iking kun opa. Runda di hodonga kun hongami. Wana kun bez ching palamule tungi. Ka chikun ida hodonga. Iking kun opa mulera chikun. Slimo runda di hodonga kun hongami. Wana kun bez ching pat ka chikun ida hodonga. Iking kun opa mulera chikun. Runda di hodonga kun hongami. Wana kun ka chikun ida hodonga. Iking kun opa mulera. Runda di hodonga kun hongami. Wana kun bez ching palamu. Ka chikun ida hodonga. Iking kun opa mulera chikun. Runda di hodonga kun hongami. Wana kun bez ching palamule tungking.
Jedo badowana ni di bobo. Tong nabung siya nununya. Tong patukasmak.
Runda di hodonga kun hongami. Wana kun bez ching pala.
Mucho siya pakat. Kieno no namapa.
You shall fall.
Achuta. Bunga kun bisto achuta. Bunga kun bisto. Jeda badawana ni di bobo. Dong na bungsha nununya. Tune podo. Rananu prata doko. Nantayata. Wata yuma wama huhu nanda jeda badawana ni di bobo. Dong na bungsha.
Ronda di hotonga kun hankabi. Wana kun bez ching palamule tungking ba.
Muchashak bakat.
There can be little doubt that we have found the star map you were seeking. I am surprised it is still working after all this time.
I do not think it is mere chance that we have found the star map here, in the lair of a great dragon. The star map is an artifact of the dark side. The great dragon may have been drawn here by its dark power, only to be enslaved by it. Come, we should leave this place. There's nothing else for us here.
Master?
What? Yes? What?
Query, what do you wish to ask of him, Master? Protocol. This will be a very sensitive... Translation. Translation. You have been told that to be considered worthy of hearing the histories, you need to bring him a dragon pearl from a great dragon. Translation. He says the discussion is closed until you fulfill this condition. He thinks you are just making fun of his traditions. Translation. Translation. He is stupefied, Master. He never thought you could return with such an item. Such a thing has not been done in many years. Translation. He will allow you to meet the storyteller, but also gives a warning. If you dare to repeat the histories incorrectly, you will be killed. Translation. The storyteller will be summoned to one of the rooms here in the Enclave. He seems to think this is a great honor for you, Master. Translation. Translation. We are free to leave. Translation. He identifies himself as the storyteller, Master. He has been told of your warrior skills and will speak the history to you. Translation. Translation. There is only one accepted history, passed orally to each successive generation. Translation. A book or datapad can be taken away, cheapening the value of what it contains. To commit it to paper or storage is to remove it from the people. Translation. Translation. You may choose to hear the history, or you may choose not to. Their history is a single entity that cannot be partitioned. Translation. The only exception is in continuing the tales once they have begun. If you leave, when you return, he will continue from where he left off. Translation. Translation. It begins with the ancient times. They were not sand people, for there was no sand. The land was green with life, and they walked without wrappings. Translation. Though the land was beautiful, they lived apart from the land. They built their walls high and saw beyond the horizon. They dared to reach the stars. Translation: there are no words for how long ago this was. It was before the outsiders, before the abduction, before the cities fell, before the builders. Translation. Translation. His arrogant people touched the stars, and this sin drew the attention of the builders. The builders did not touch the stars, they lashed them to millstones. Translation. Great demons of metal stripped the world of its riches until all that was left was the green of the ground. The great cities were lifted away. Translation. Those that had used the wealth were taken along with it. Transgressors abducted to serve past the sky, seeding the stars with penitent, adaptable slaves. Translation. Translation. There came a time when the builders were also judged for their crimes. After generations, a plague weakened them, and the time of the Great War began. Translation. The builders faltered, and his people realized why they had been punished, so that they understood the crime, and would now strike down the greater offender. Translation. They worked chaos in the machines, so they destroyed themselves. The builders fought back, laying waste to the green that had been misused with fire from above. Translation. Soil became glass, grinding to sand, but the fight was long planned, and his people were safe. Deep in cave homes carved from valley wall, they were free. Translation. Editing, if I may, Master. This section of his tale details several millennia of the Long Walk, their nomadic wanderings as they accept their identity in a desert world. Rather than strain my circuits on his dialect, might we just assume there was much fighting over who has the biggest bantha and move on to more recent things? Translation. Translation. The tribes spread far, distant from each other, but all the sand people and all cherished the land that remained. The sand would not be misused. Translation. Then machines fell from the stars again, outsiders like you that brazenly walked apart from the land. And greater still was the insult to come. Translation. These outsiders reminded them of their past transgression, of the time when they too walked apart from land. The outsiders, your kind, looked like their ancient abducted. Translation. So it is to the current sons that the Sand People hate all outsiders and give them no footing. You come again, time after time, adaptable slaves to the machine. Editing. The last 1,000 years are full of conflicts with different groups of attempted planetary settlers, all of whom are poorly described, long dead, and likely untraceable. I believe I have truncated it down to the usable bits in what was already said. I hope it is enough, Master. Cautionary. I should warn you, Master, that any questioning of their interpretation may be seen as trying to change the meaning of what was said. Clarification. They may consider this to be speaking the words in error, a blasphemy they would attempt to kill you for. Obedient. I will ask whatever you wish, Master. Translation. Translation. Now that you have heard the whole of the history, you may select a piece of it to hear again. Obedient. I will ask. Translation. 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 Now that you have heard the whole of the history, you may select obedient. Translation. Translation. Cautionary. Clarification. It would appear that they once had a thriving... Translation. Translation. He only understands the Builders as an iconic force meant to test the resolve of his people. He is not making sense, Master. Clarification. They claim their stories are repeated unchanged, but they have demonized these Builders. In their minds, they wreaked such havoc they could not possibly be flesh and blood. Negative. I am no library, but since there is no Republic record of this planet having sentient life before Zerka colonization, I doubt you will find such evidence. Cautionary. Obedient. Translation. Query. What do you wish to ask? Translation.
I heard what you did out on the dunes. I'm impressed. I'd never have thought a tenderfoot like you could bring down a dragon. My name is Doric Quinn. I'm a hunter. I hunt. Is that enough, or should I start listing my family birthdays? If that's what... See you around.
Greetings again from the offices of Zerga Corporation. Is this about bounties or something else? Of course, you've done a good job for us and I'm happy to pay you. Farewell.
How can I help? I do. I've been watching you, studying you closely to see what kind of progress you've made since your training at the hands of Master Zahar. I've seen how you've resisted many temptations and continued to walk the path of the light side. Very commendable, but I'm afraid you might stray from this path. You need to see what the dark side represents in its entirety, for it is what we battle. Only the wisdom of a Jedi Master can truly explain this, but I will do my best to make you understand. The dark side is not simply giving in to anger, temptation, or to use the Force to destructive ends. These things only lead to the dark side. The dark side grows stronger and more insidious the closer you draw to it. It begs you to surrender to it, to release all its terrible power, and it becomes harder and harder to resist. And once you stop resisting, it's too late. It twists you up inside and turns you into a mockery of everything you once stood for. I am no less resistant to temptation than any other. I simply have the benefit of training that you do not. But even the training of the Jedi might not be enough to save us. We need only to look at the atrocities which have been committed by those under its sway to understand the terrible, corrupting evil of the dark side. Millions dead, and far more suffering. What sort of person would you have to become to perform such deeds gladly? Neither do I, and I hope I never do. It's so easy to think that we would never fall prey to such a horror, that we have unlimited control, vigilance, and foresight. If only that were true. The Sith have become powerful because there are many Jedi who've succumbed to the lure of the dark side and joined their cause. What greater weapon is there than to turn an enemy to your cause, to use their own knowledge against them? We are weakened while they are strengthened, so we must harden our hearts and do whatever is required to fight against the dark side, even when the battle becomes wearying. I don't know. The vision of our future is clouded by shadows cast from the dark side, but I sense something ominous lurking in those shadows. But words alone cannot save one from the dark side. Come, we should continue with the task at hand. When the time comes, I only hope we are all strong enough to do what we must.
Willow, 이해했다. 오피서 긴군 여바 무리라지. 오금이를 쪼가쪼구나 구마다 찔러뿐사. 오금이를 쪼가쪼구나 구마다 찔러뿐사. 킹군요 바물이라지. 오금이를 주가 좋구나. 투사꾼사. 진짜 것 무기 마. 이라도 하고 지지야. 컴퓨터 먹고 바로 바꾸고. 나윌로 원가천티 이라도 하고 나윌로 이다 오피소 킹군요 바물이라지. 오금이를 주가 좋구나. 투사꾼사. 나윌로 와타티마뇨 코라도난 먹고 몰리라. 오금이를 전학킹.
I'm here.